graffiti.
The streets of Ballymena erupted into a second consecutive night of chaos, as homes believed to be occupied by migrant families were set ablaze, marking a disturbing escalation in anti-immigrant violence that has sent shockwaves through Northern Ireland and beyond. Local emergency services responded late into the evening as flames tore through a residential area known to house several recently arrived migrant families. Witnesses reported hearing chants and seeing masked individuals targeting specific homes, with some describing scenes of mob-like behavior and orchestrated intimidation. This is not an isolated incident. In recent weeks, a toxic mix of disinformation, political rhetoric, and economic anxiety has fueled growing hostility towards migrants in parts of the UK. But Ballymena now finds itself at the epicenter of what many fear could spiral into a broader movement of xenophobic violence, echoing dark chapters from Northern Ireland's own troubled past. Tensions in Ballymena began mounting weeks ago following the arrival of several asylum-seeking families, placed in government-arranged housing under the UK Home Office's dispersal program. Despite efforts by local charities and some community leaders to welcome the newcomers, far-right voices have seized the moment to inflame divisions, spreading falsehoods about crime, welfare, and invasion. Local residents say the situation has been deteriorating for days. Flyers were circulated warning of a cultural takeover. Online groups, some with links to UK-wide anti-immigrant networks, began organizing what they described as community patrols. Now, after multiple arsons and street unrest, Ballymena is grappling with what appears to be a coordinated campaign of hate, one that has found fertile ground in a region still healing from its own sectarian scars. Experts on extremism and social media manipulation point to a growing online ecosystem that promotes anti-migrant conspiracy theories across the UK. One widely shared false claim alleged that a local school had been taken over by non-English-speaking children, a story that was quickly debunked but had already gone viral by the time it was corrected. These narratives, combined with rising economic hardship, have created a potent breeding ground for scapegoating. On the ground, humanitarian organizations are demanding urgent government intervention. Refugee support workers have called for emergency relocation of affected families, protection for migrant communities, and a crackdown on hate groups operating with near impunity. This is not just a local issue. It's a national disgrace, said Eamon Malloy of Migrant Justice Now. The UK government must treat these attacks as what they are, hate crimes fueled by political negligence. In the meantime, the migrant families of Ballymena face an agonizing weight, many now homeless, traumatized, and unsure of whether they'll be safe another night. As dawn breaks over a smoldering Northern Irish town, the UK confronts a bitter truth. When political fear-mongering meets local despair, the result is not just division, it's devastation.
Well, you join us here in the car park here in Bishopthorpe Road. We've paid £22.50 to park here. Doesn't accept card, and you have to use an app if you've not got that cash on you when you get here. Certainly there has been a lot of uproar, 500% increase. It was 80p to park here just to nip to the shops, nip to the greengrocers. This is an area that was voted Britain's best high street, real thriving place for independent business. But with this price rise now, they got a petition together that was signed by over 8,000 people to try and get the council to change it. Now, the council say that they've put these price hikes in place so that we use more of these things. We go on the bikes, we use the buses rather than the cars. But they've acknowledged that the price It has been too high. Next month they're going to change that to £3 per hour, but that's still over a 200% increase from that 80p. As I said, £22.50 all day, £11.20 for 2 to 3 hours. So if you're just wanting to go for a coffee, come for a meal, that's an added price on top of the rising cost of living. Now, earlier we've been speaking to drivers here, and this is what they told us about this increased price.
People that are not able to get in easily or just want to come in for an hour or so, I think the exact amount of money that's gone up is really bad.
No, I'm really annoyed about it actually, because I think this is a group of independent shops, independent businesses, and York celebrates it, and yet it's absolutely stuffed it by doing this.
But so today I've had to pretend that I'm unloading some goods just to get a few minutes park up.
That's absolutely disgusting, I think.
Martin, just want to show you this stretch of what's known as Bishopthorpe Road. You can see here businesses that are doing well. You've got your local greengrocers, you've got your local butchers, coffee shops, a real thriving part just 5 minutes outside of York. So certainly here people are hoping that this increase in prices for parking doesn't impact on local businesses like this that rely on people coming and spending in their shops. The council say that they're going to work now more closely with local businesses and residents, and that they're going to do a review every 3, 6 and 9 months into this price rise here at Bishopthorpe Road car park.
Anna Riley, an excellent report. You talk about getting on your bike. I wonder how many locals in York wish that these councillors would get on their bikes. How on earth are you meant to go and do your shopping if you're a pensioner? Balanced on a bike, on an e-bike, 22 quid to park all day. That's a slap up fish supper and a few pints. That money that could be spent at that greengrocer's there. Money that should be spent on the high street at the butchers, all the local businesses. People will simply stop going to towns and they wonder why the high street is dying. They just look at motorists like a walking pocket to be picked. That's the feeling that surely many people will have, and this seems to be commonplace up and down the length and breadth of the nation. If you drive a car, we're going to take your dosh. Anna Riley, very thought-provoking stuff, brilliant. Thank you for joining us there live from Bishopthorpe Road in York.
Outrage is erupting across York after the city council imposed a £22.50 parking charge for just a few hours and made it, no cash, no card, just a smartphone. Locals and business owners say the policy is crippling foot traffic and threatening the future of York's award-winning independent high street. I'm really annoyed. York celebrates independent shops, then absolutely stuffs them by doing this, said Sarah Mallard, a shop owner in Gillygate. Critics warn the move discriminates against elderly residents, tourists, and anyone without access to mobile tech. Councillors from Labour and Conservative parties are calling for an urgent review, slamming the decision as economic sabotage disguised as sustainability. This isn't modernisation. It's marginalisation, said Claire Dave Taylor. The council says the changes are part of a strategy to reduce congestion and push public transport, but locals argue it's driving people away. As protests grow and businesses speak out, one thing is clear: York's parking war is far from over.